he was good at manipulating you to get you to do it.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Tupac came up and was like, "Who's this?" And Big was like, "Chill, that's my shorty." And he was like, "Fat, what is you doing with her?" And then they started laughing. Biggie was the type of person to motivate you. He always wanted anyone to succeed. He always wanted everybody to have a better life for themselves.
Lil Kim has had a rough journey, and guess who's a big part of her troubles? Yep, Diddy. He was seen as her mentor, but his involvement in her life is a lot more sketchy than it seemed. When Kim was rising in the rap game, her relationship with Biggie looked picture perfect. But behind the scenes, it was a whole different story, filled with forced abortions and threats. Kim's been through some serious nightmares. Now, let's dive into the Lil Kim and Diddy drama. It's seriously wild. Kim's throwing major at Diddy, and she's made it clear she'll never forgive him for what he supposedly did to Biggie. Biggie, also known as the notorious B.I.G., was tragically killed in '97 after leaving a party in LA, a loss that rocked the entire music world. Initially, people thought his death was part of the ongoing East Coast versus West Coast feud. On one side, you had Diddy with Bad Boy Records representing the East Coast, and on the other, Dr. Dre and Suge Knight leading Death Row Records for the West Coast. Here's the scoop. Biggie was Diddy's golden goose, making tons of money for Bad Boy. He was the East Coast's answer to Tupac, and after Tupac's death, Biggie was the undisputed king. But when Biggie wanted to leave, Diddy reportedly wasn't having it. Rumor has it that Diddy wasn't about to let his cash cow walk away, so he allegedly put a price on Biggie's head. Uncle Ron, Diddy's former bodyguard, spilled the tea, claiming that Diddy, along with Jay-Z, wanted Biggie dead. He even showed evidence, saying Diddy offered him $30,000 to do the deed.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Gene Deal, another of Diddy's former bodyguards, didn't outright accuse Diddy, but he definitely didn't clear his name either. He made it pretty obvious that he believes Diddy had a hand in Biggie's dropping hints that strongly suggest Diddy's involvement in the whole tragic event.
Why is he out there working on Puff album when you got the Hit Factory? You got Daddy's House.
Back in the day, she and Biggie were incredibly close, practically inseparable. They had a fling going on, even though Biggie was married to Faith Evans. However, after Biggie passed away, Kim's relationship with Diddy deteriorated completely, going from bad to non-existent. She clung to that grudge as she clung to her mic. For a while, everyone assumed it was because Diddy was working with her arch-rival, Nicki Minaj. But wait, Kim set the record straight, revealing it wasn't just about Nicki. She outright accused Diddy of being disloyal and shady. Kim believes Diddy knows the truth about Biggie's but is keeping quiet because it's all about the money. Imagine this. Fans everywhere to Biggie and Lil Kim, thinking they're the ultimate power duo. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. Lil Kim is dealing with serious issues, trapped in a storm of drama and heartbreak. She's caught in a toxic cycle of emotional and physical from her on and off partner. Let's take a closer look at Kim's journey. Growing up in Brooklyn, she faced a lot of obstacles. Her mom struggled to keep things together, and her dad was far from winning any Father of the Year awards. Things got tough when Kim began dating at 13, sneaking around behind her dad's back. When he found out, chaos erupted. Kim endured serious verbal and which eventually led her to leave home. On her own, Lil Kim drifted from place to place, crashing on couches and hustling hard just to get by. Life was tough, and she faced propositions from men offering her things in exchange for favors. But Kim persevered. Then, a twist of fate occurred when she encountered 19-year-old Biggie Smalls on a street corner. She decided to show off her skills with an impromptu performance. Biggie, impressed by her talent, invited her to join his crew, Junior Mafia. She was the only girl in the group. Lil Kim even recalled the incident of how she met Biggie Smalls, and they became close. Kim recalled, "He became my friend, my lover, my everything. I was his biggest fan. He knew I would be the biggest female rapper. I think I inspired him to want to do different things and be different. We were a match made in heaven, like Sonny and Cher or Ashford and Simpson."
I was coming from work, and he said, "Yeah, Kim, I heard you knew how to rap," because I had to pass that way when I got off the train. And I was like, yeah, but you know.
However, music wasn't Kim's only concern. She was also involved with Sean Powell, who was in serious trouble with the law. He was imprisoned for robbery, facing 8.5 years behind bars. Kim stayed loyal, visiting him whenever she could. But over time, their relationship dwindled, and the engagement was called off. Kim then turned her full attention to her rap career. Meanwhile, Kim and Biggie were sparking up a storm. They were really clicking, connecting on a whole other level. But here's the kicker. Biggie was already hitched to his high school sweetheart, Jan Jackson. You know how everyone talks about their time in Junior Mafia, dropping hit after hit? Well, there's more to the story. As Big and Kim were skyrocketing to fame, their already sizzling romantic relationship heated up even more. Right from the get-go, their relationship was a total whirlwind. Biggie and Kim started this secret affair that stretched out over 4 years. And get this, Biggie even went and tied the knot with Faith Evans while still sneaking around with Kim. Now picture this, being at your ex's wedding while still hooking up behind their back. Yeah, Kim pulled that off. Some might say it's a bit out of line, but loyalty to Biggie was a big deal in their circle. However, right in the middle of recording Hardcore, Kim got the news. She was pregnant. By this time, Biggie was already married to Faith Evans. She told The Source in a 1999 interview, "I already knew the kind of relationship that Biggie and I had, and I knew that having a child was something that couldn't take place." But here's the real kicker. While everyone around them was in the loop, poor Faith was completely in the dark. She thought Kim and Biggie were just colleagues from work. Can you even imagine the bombshell she faced when she finally learned the truth? However, Biggie's and Kim's relationship persisted until Kim decided to spill the beans about the intensity of her relationship and what actually she was facing. Kim recalled and admitted that her relationship with Biggie was toxic at times. She said, "We did have a very violent relationship." She also confirmed Jermaine Dupri's claim that Biggie pulled a gun on her in the studio. "I hate that for a while. That was all I attracted. Violent men, it is what it is. He was everything. You know how it is when you're in the industry. The guys can do whatever they want, but you can't do nothing." Even though Kim is madly in love with Biggie, she allegedly realizes that Biggie is being violent because of Diddy. Rumor has it that Biggie didn't want to let go of Biggie as he was producing hit records. Kim saw the fact that Diddy was using him for the benefits that he always has, and so Puffy decided to brew a bigger plan. Even Jaguar Wright revealed Diddy's sinister intentions of exploiting Biggie for his own gain. Jaguar disclosed that Diddy's primary focus was always on making money rather than nurturing talent. Allegedly, Diddy allowed Biggie to produce more and more in order to profit from his hard work and talent, prioritizing his own wealth over the artist's success.
"Run this label, and we're gonna run these into the ground, and I'm gonna make all of you." And that was his pep talk at the Kit Kat Club in 1996 to his interns.
This further supports the notion that Diddy desired full control over Bad Boy Records without considering the consequences of his actions. It seems that Biggie prioritized the quality of his talent and music over monetary gain, which didn't align with Diddy's goals.
The objective of Bad Boy is to talent. We don't want talent a Bad Boy.
In an interview, Kim recalled an incident where she and Biggie had a huge fight. She said, "We had a big act fight. I had heard about him and some girl. We were talking about what happened, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm going at him. We're just going at it, and I hit Biggie so hard, and he was on crutches, so I kicked his crutch on the floor." She further says, "I said, 'You have to stay because I might need you to help me with my lines.' And he was like, 'I'm not helping you. You gonna tell me how you feel. I always let out my feelings and you gonna do it too. So I'll hear it when it's done.' However, that's not all the tea that is spilled yet. What's coming next will have you jump out of your seat and question Diddy's intentions with Lil Kim while secretly trying to pull Biggie and Kim apart. Kim said, "I always wanted him to treat me like a baby. I was really spoiled and I wanted him to be with me 24/7. I wanted him in the studio. At that time, I didn't like being in the studio with Puff by myself because he's a pain in the eye. Biggie knew how I worked, so he would let me do my thing. Sit in the back and check on me every half hour or every hour. Puffy comes by every 5 minutes." Do you see how she mentioned Diddy speaks volumes? It's almost like Kim was being scared of being with Puffy alone and Biggie wasn't even laying his eyes on her. And to be honest, it does seem like Biggie was being pulled away from Lil Kim somehow. Maybe because of the fact that he was already married to Faith Evans. It was a messed up situation, but wait, there's more to the story. Diddy was cooking up a master plan to stir up trouble between Lil Kim and Biggie, and unfortunately, it worked out just as he wanted. He schemed to wedge something between them, despite the fact that they were rising stars in the industry, with Biggie's rap talent and Lil Kim's fame as the leading female rapper of the time. Diddy was hungry for power in the industry, and he wanted it all. So what did Diddy do? He brought Faith Evans into the mix and signed her on to Bad Boy Records. Then, he introduced her to Biggie, even though he knew Biggie was already with Lil Kim. This explains how Diddy knowingly sowed the seeds to drive a wedge between Lil Kim and Biggie and tear them apart. Before long, they both tied the knot, breaking Lil Kim's heart. But then, rumors started swirling that Faith Evans had a thing with Tupac before she married Biggie. American rapper Spice One claimed it, adding fuel to the fire. He said, "Faith, that was Pac's girl, not his girl, but her and Pac had something together. They were buddies. It's up to say this, but we're gonna keep it real." You see, there's this whole twist where Faith was supposedly more interested in Tupac than Biggie, and then, out of nowhere, she ends up marrying Biggie, which must have been a blow to Tupac. Jaguar Wright even suggests that Diddy strategically brought Faith Evans into the mix to stir up drama between Biggie, Lil Kim, and even Tupac. Biggie and Tupac were tight, so when Faith and Tupac collaborated on a song, it added fuel to the fire, heating up tensions even more.
I can see that. She seemed genuine happy.
Yeah.
She seemed genuine happy.
You see how Diddy planned it all and started to rule over these famous artists by manipulating and exploiting them? There's more to the story than meets the eyes. Let me fill you in on the latest scoop from Lil Kim. It's a real roller coaster. So here's the deal. Diddy, the big shot in the music scene, isn't exactly the saint he's made out to be, at least according to Kim. She's painting him as a wolf in sheep's clothing, preying on vulnerable women who are just trying to make it in the industry. Kim's been keeping quiet about it for ages, but now she's decided to spill the beans. She's calling out Diddy for his power and influence to manipulate and mistreat women in the business. It's pretty appalling. And guess what? She's not just blowing smoke, she's got the receipts to prove it, claiming she's witnessed it firsthand, time and time again. But hold on to your hats because it gets even. Kim's dropping some serious bombs about a particular incident that'll make your blood boil. There's this dancer chasing her dreams when Diddy starts crossing some major lines. And we're not talking innocent flirting here. Nope, he's straight up harassing her. And when she puts a stop to it, he completely loses it. According to Kim, Diddy goes from 0 to 100 in a flash, hurling threats and insults like it's nothing. He even corners the poor girl backstage, unleashing his fury on her. Can you even imagine the fear she must have felt? And it's not just Kim speaking out. Miss Jones spilled the tea too, revealing how Diddy threatened her on live radio, even talking about putting her in a trunk. Kim stepped up like a hero, telling Diddy to lay off and leave Jones alone. According to her, this is Diddy's usual move, treating women like they're just objects to use and manipulate. It's a messed up attitude that needs to change, and Kim's not holding back and calling him out on it. And get this, it's not the first time she's spilled the beans. There's this old clip floating around where she spills all the details, revealing how Diddy basically cut her off when she was locked up. No letters, no visits, nothing. Kim felt totally betrayed, especially since she thought they were close after Biggie's passing. But turns out, he didn't see her as family anymore. When she took the stage in Baltimore, she didn't hold back, calling out Diddy and saying he should be ashamed for not having her back. Kim claims Diddy was Nicki Minaj to replace her like he was using Nicki to overshadow all the work she'd put in. Imagine giving your all to something, only for your mentor to drop you for the next big thing. Kim's a legend, an icon. There's no one out there who can fill her shoes. So you can imagine how frustrated she was when Diddy failed to show her the love and recognition she deserved after she got out of jail. But wait, it gets even crazier. Diddy thought it'd be smart to address Kim's reaction in an interview, but all he did was make things. He had the nerve to claim he never expected Kim to be upset about him collaborating with another artist. And get this, he even had the audacity to say if she's mad, it's her problem. Talk about shifting the blame. Then, to top it off, he defended Nicki, saying she never did anything to harm Kim and wasn't trying to copy her style or throw shade. But let me tell you, Lil Kim wasn't having any of that. She went full throttle in an interview with Atlanta radio host Ryan Cameron, where she didn't hold back. She laid bare how Diddy had betrayed her. Baby tried to reach out 100 times. Puffy tried to reach out, but I feel like both of those two were a big, major part of the problem, so it was really nothing to talk about. As far as Puffy, I feel it was very disrespectful because being with Puffy for so long, I remember plenty of times when I said something that may have been offensive about somebody, and Puffy back in the day, he wouldn't let any of those records go out. She further said, as a matter of fact, he would say, no, you gotta change that. You can't say this, especially if it was about somebody he had a relationship or was getting money with. He wouldn't let that ride like that. So that's what bothered me. Now he's sitting there saying she's mad because I wanted to work with another female. Come on, how preposterous is that? How many females has he worked with that I was cool with or didn't have a problem with? So his answer didn't make any sense to me. Lil Kim was really upset with Diddy, especially regarding that movie about Biggie. She felt like she got a bad deal in how she was shown. According to Kim, Diddy had her shown as just someone who rode on Biggie's fame without any talent of her own. Can you imagine watching a big movie that makes you look bad, like some one-dimensional stereotype? Kim poured her heart out, saying how painful it was to see her hard work and talent disrespected on the big screen. And it gets even worse. She says she didn't even get a chance to tell her side of the story. Instead, Diddy allegedly let the wrong story keep going, ruining Kim's reputation and credibility as an artist. The betrayal didn't just sting Kim in her career, it hit her hard personally too. She says it took her years to feel good about herself again after Diddy's big betrayal. Sure, she'd look to Biggie for advice sometimes, but that's not the same thing, you know? Plus, Lil Kim was young when she got mixed up with Biggie. She admits she didn't really understand the whole married man thing back then, but she swears she was totally into him. It wasn't cool how everything went down. However, today, only true fans remember and know what Lil Kim and Biggie had to go through because of Puffy and how fast things changed between them because of Puff. Even though Kim was already present in Biggie's life, Diddy ruined it all. Most fans blame Diddy for destroying careers and even lives, like Biggie's and Lil Kim's. One fan wrote, "Kim was messing with Biggie before he got big, and she was messing with him before Faith." That's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching.